SMX Playoffs, the biggest ripoff in moto history. Hey everybody, Walty Wanderers, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Let's jump back on the moto merry-go-round and examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine and the VIP experience.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the industry ruts. We got some ruts to look through today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So the SMX round one of these new playoff rounds, super duper, had some big issues, right? Some big issues. First of all, I don't think they should have held it at this venue. I think they went there because somebody got paid. They could have held it somewhere else where they could have avoided this. They didn't. That's strike one, ball drop. Strike two is we race, rain or shine. This is Gladiator Games, a blood sport. But because of the swamp being so thick and so deep now, of course, if there's a lightning strike within eye shot, things get shut down. And this was just ridiculous. And the way they ended it was just, oh my gosh, like it was just ridiculous. I think it was that Will Christensen was interviewing Jetson, and Jetson was like, I think they should call it. Where Danger Boy, I saw him interview, and he's like, dude, we're professional athletes. You got to be ready to race. Like, he was ready to rock. He's like, he didn't care. Lightning could have been striking in the stadium or in the raceway, and he still would have been out there racing. And it's just because now these rules and regulations that have been imposed on professional sports, and because motocross now wants to be football or baseball or some kind of ball sport, with Ricky, in fact, calling moves on the track audibles, it's shameless, and it's see-through, and it's weak. And somebody's got to blow the lid off it, right? Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the ruts. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. If you're new, get subscribed. There's never been a more important time in moto history to get centered and surrounded with like-minded moto people. And that's exactly what you're going to do here at this channel, because we get you guys involved to hear from the actual moto community. We asked it on the community page, did you feel ripped off by this round of moto? And, you know, it's pretty obvious. Many people do. Now, I saw a recent post, I think from Deegan's Mechanic Duff, where he said people in moto or the fans are getting soft. Oh, we're the ones that are soft, bro? We're the ones that are getting soft? Because we say keep racing, bro. And you're like, oh, you were saying something to the effect of, you guys got everything you would have got at a regular Supercross, but that's not what we paid for. We paid for super duper. We paid for twice as much racing than we got. So this race, it could have been postponed. It could have been delayed, just because they should have known they're in an open air stadium in a part of the country that has potential for lightning strikes. They should have had lighting on standby in case this happened. They didn't. This is a complete, and like they could have done a makeup race, a next day race, added a race at one of these. Who cares? You got to do something. But this cheapened. This really hurt the SMX Super Duper playoffs massively. I'm concerned this is not going to last. Now, just like the U.S. Open and motocross, it didn't last forever. That was our big off-season race. Monster Million, it didn't last forever. That was our big off-season money race. Now you got Super Duper because you want to turn it into playoffs. And it's much bigger than an off-season race. This was all forced by World Supercross. World Supercross came in, and it's going to happen now. World Supercross is going to benefit from this super duper motocross ball dropping it. They ball dropped it bigger than World. World Supercross looked at first at face value like this is going to be good, and then it fell flat, and they kind of ball dropped their scene. Now Super Duper, in essence, ball dropped it worse because the riders are done with it. The top riders aren't making any extra money. And the privateers, you're just throwing them a small bone. It was offensive to see this Rocky Mountain ATV, whatever, RMX Fantasy or whatever that is. But they were given a privateer. I don't know, one of the, I think maybe Lux Turner and Cody Schock in the 450s got $1,000 for something, and then they get an extra $1,000 for. This is nothing. That's not helping. And these payouts, yeah, they're better than the normal payouts, but they're still nothing considering this is Gladiator Games, blood sport. So you got ripped off because you didn't get to watch Gladiator Games because there was lightning off in the distance, not even threatening the stadium. They should have lined those fools up and had them race. They were there to race. They were ready to race. A full ball drop. So let's, without further ado, jump over to the community page of the Walty Wanderers YouTube channel. Take a look at some polling. Take a lap around, a few of your comments. Then we're going to meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started. Hey, race fans, buckle up, strap in, roll up your windows, lock your doors, throw on an open face and a fresh pair of tear-offs because the roost is about to fly. When asked on the Walty Wanderers community page of the YouTube channel, do you feel ripped off by having the SMX race cut short in Charlotte? 78% of you said, I feel super ripped off, Walty, while 22% of you said, no, bro, I don't feel ripped off at all. It was great. Well, let's go ahead and saddle up and take a lap around some of your comments. First up to the starting gate, Foil Powell comes in with, I don't feel ripped off by cutting the race short as much as I feel ripped off by the terrible broadcast. Leaving us all to wonder what happened at the end of the first moto was BS. Then repeating the same terrible coverage to finish the 450 moto was unbelievable. The whole thing was a total disaster. And there it is there. Thanks for giving it to us and giving it to us straight. Let's see who's up next. Next up, RT Gray pops the clutch and comes flying out of the starting gate with, I felt ripped off the moment I saw Ricky Carmichael was back. Boom, and there it is there. I gotta agree with you, bro. Ricky, you got a little work, my brother. Thanks for the comment. Let's see who's up next. Ronald Travis comes dive bombing into the first turn with, at least Prado didn't miss much. Boom, and there it is there. Our boy George didn't miss much at all. In fact, he might have been the smartest man in the paddock, or not in the paddock, depending on how you look at it. Thanks for the comment. Let's see who's up next. Ken Sutton goes flying by, full of whiskey throttle, rocking an open face with Gladiator Sports, but not in the rain? Wussies. Back in the day, we raced in any weather, rain, sleet, or snow. Let's freaking race. And there it is there. I agree with you, bro. Line these dudes up. This is getting soft. Thanks for the comment. Let's see who's up next. Kyle Strever quads into the rhythm section like a boss with, I feel ripped off that our sport chose the Wonder Boy to represent Moto, and he publicly asked for mud races to be canceled. So lame. Boom, and there it is there. Wonder Boy, come on, my brother. Toughen up a little bit. Let's see who's up next. Last but certainly not least, Rider 3859 crosses the finish line, lights the candles, gets the Bubba neck burn with, it has all felt cheap since they left Vegas. Boom, and there it is there. Can we get the Supercross finale back at Vegas? That's when this sport was in its heyday, the crescendo of it all. I have to agree. Make sure you guys jump in and read the rest, but bring your tear-offs. There's some barn burners, and the roost is definitely flying. Now let's jump back to the studio and wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back, and there you go. Of course, Moto community, there it is. Walty Wanderers just gave it to you. You ripped off your customers. You can't rip off your customers. That was a rip-off. That was a rip-off. Now, I get it. If the new rules and regulations of professional sports forced your hand to not be able to run events during lightning within a certain amount of distance of a venue, then you had to delay, postpone, or reschedule it. But you don't just come in and say, well, that's it. Have a nice day. We're just going to basically have a one moto format today, and those are the guys that won, and those are your positions. It didn't work. Now, have you communicated that to us prior to the race? Maybe we would have still felt ripped off, but maybe we would have accepted it. But it was the most unceremonious ending to a race that I have ever seen. It was a big letdown. I didn't even pay to go to the race, and I felt ripped off. In final thoughts, and come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. SMX, playoff, super duper. Welcome to the swimming pool. Ball drop for you. You ripped off your customers. Customers do not like to get ripped off, and that's in fact what you did. You better hope this super duper format can survive the test of time. History would say it won't. You're on borrowed time, and you might already know that, and you don't care as long as you can cash in while the cashing in is good. But unfortunately, it's not going to work if you continue to operate in this way. And that's why Walty will be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media link in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.